In this video we are going to look at the British destruction of India. The British Empire's colonization of India had a devastating impact on the country's political, economic, and social fabric. It is estimated that British rule resulted in the deaths of millions of Indians due to famines, massacres, and other forms of violence. The colonization of India began in the mid-18th century and lasted until 1947 when the country finally gained independence. During this period, the British implemented policies that were designed to exploit India's resources and people, resulting in long-term damage to the country. One of the most significant ways the British destroyed India was through their economic policies. They implemented a system that forced Indian farmers to grow cash crops such as cotton, tea, and opium instead of food crops. This resulted in a food shortage that led to several famines, including the Bengal famine of 1943, which claimed the lives of around 3 million people. The British also introduced heavy taxes on Indian goods and forced India to import British goods, creating a massive trade imbalance that drained India of its wealth. The British also implemented a system of divide and rule that exacerbated existing social divisions in India. They encouraged religious and caste-based conflicts, which led to communal violence and further weakened Indian society. The British introduced a policy of communal electorates, which gave separate electorates to Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs, further dividing the country. The British also undermined India's political institutions, including the Indian National Congress, which was established in 1885 to fight for India's independence. The British arrested and imprisoned Congress leaders, including Mahatma Gandhi, and banned political meetings and protests. The British also divided India into smaller provinces, creating administrative divisions that were easier to control. The British also destroyed India's traditional industries, which had thrived for centuries before colonization. They introduced machine-made textiles and other goods, which were cheaper than Indian-made goods, resulting in the collapse of India's textile industry. This led to widespread unemployment and poverty. In addition to the economic and political damage caused by British rule, the British also had a devastating impact on India's cultural heritage. They looted India's wealth, including precious artifacts, manuscripts, and artworks, which were shipped to Britain. The British also imposed their language and culture on India, which led to the marginalization of Indian languages and traditions. In conclusion, British colonization had a devastating impact on India, resulting in long-term damage to the country's economy, politics, society, and culture. The legacy of British rule is still felt in India today, and the country is still struggling to overcome the damage caused by colonization. It is important to acknowledge this history and work towards healing and reconciliation between India and Britain.